Ishmael Whitley.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ishmael Whitley. I'll point to if I start. Like Ruth said, I'll be giving a speech to some teens here in a month and a half. This is from from boy to soldier to businessman. Next slide. I was born December 12th, 1979 in Chesapeake, Virginia. I was born to two parents, Shirley, Shirley and Harry Whitley. They were married at the time. My mom was the first person in the family to get married out of 9 kids. And in most marriages, things happen, and I end up being in a single parent home. Next slide. My mom always kept me in church as long as my grandmother kept me suited. That was something that just impressed. That's something we always stand on. Next slide. As a teen, I always wondered where my father was. I always daydreamed about what he was doing or, why we didn't have that bond together. In graduation, he wasn't there. This is my senior prom picture. At that time, I wanted to go into the military. Air Force was my first choice. So I signed up for the Air Force in 2001. At the time, that was 9/11, there was a lot of going on. In the Air Force, they're kind of strict with getting people in. So I got onto a delayed entry program. The delayed entry program can last from 1 month to a year. In that time, you have to stay in shape. You can't do any drugs. You can't get into trouble. You have to stay a straight line. And everything happens, you're pretty much out of it. And at the time, I was working at a aluminum siding company. I was delivering aluminum siding. And I told the people that I was working with that I was going into the Air Force. So, most jobs, they had to find a replacement. So they fired me. Next slide. And at the time, my cousin, was selling drugs and doing stuff in the streets. And I didn't have a job. And I linked onto him and started doing things that he was doing. I wasn't a drug selling person because I seen a lot of my family members on drugs and stressed out and stuff like that. But I went into breaking cars and stuff with him. And in the instance, I got caught up. I got caught going by myself trying to do what he was doing. Next slide. And I ended up going jail or army. So I joined the army. At the time, I thought I was just, making a replacement to the Air Force, but the army was the best decision in my life. And I had my father in my life. It gave me a lot of discipline. It gave me a lot of direction in life. Next slide. And while in basic training, I had a high school sweetheart. I got a break between my basic training and came home and conceived had my daughter. In the far picture, she swallowed stool in her mother's womb. She was in the incubator for 2 weeks. She wasn't supposed to be here. She's a great child. I love her to death now. Next slide. She's 23 now. She's thriving. She's doing great things in life. And I'm just proud of her. Next slide. I went on 3 tours of Iraq. My first tour was Ramadi. I did 12 months there. My second tour was Baghdad. We did 16 months. And my last one was 10. So most of the time in her life, I was gone. But I got medically retired in 2013 from blood clots in my lungs due to burn pits. Next slide. These are some of the deployment pictures. I did aviation fuel. I did gate guard. Next slide. This is the aviation. I drove tanks. My job was a fueler. Next slide. On the left was my vehicle that I drove. We would go into burn pits and put JP8 on the burn pits. And in the burn pits, there would be sometimes dead people. There would be computer parts, tires, and we would have to sit there and inhale all the fumes until it burned out. So I developed a lung disease called sarcoidosis. First it was a pulmonary embolism that got diagnosed with a sarcoidosis. I went on steroids for about 6 months and blood thinners. Got over the blood thinners. Probably 2 years ago, I stopped taking prednisone. When I first got started prednisone, they put me on 40 milligrams. Next slide. I got military retired, like I said. Next slide. I gained 330 pounds due to the steroid use. I had to make a decision in my life to either live or die because I know where my life was going. I would keep going in a way that probably would die. So in that instance, I lost the weight. Next slide. In that instance, I reached out to my father. I was 40 years old at the time. I'm 46 now. And I reached out to my father. Something in my brain just said, I need to know the story. I need to know what happened between why he wasn't there, why he wasn't around. So he broke down and told me everything. It was really a great conversation I had. I don't have any regrets with reaching out to him. I don't have any ill will. We talk every day now. We text every morning, every night. It's been great to have my dad in my life. So having my dad, I got motivation to help others. Next slide. And I started a business called Veterans Touch Landscaping. I did that for 4 years. I started in 2001, and the purpose was to help other veterans get out of their house and get out of their head. I stayed home for probably about 5 years. I did the school when I first got out. That wasn't for me. And I just sat home trying to figure out where my path was. And a lot of veterans go through that. They sit home depressed, drinking, alcohol, drugs. Some of them really don't get out of it. So I tried to hire a lot of veterans. It was hard trying to hire veterans. Next slide. So I did a lot of work my own, a lot of weed cutting, grass cutting, flower bed installation, zero scape here. Next slide. These are just some pictures of me in my uniform. Next slide. These are some of the services I offered when I did landscaping. I did tree and shrub trimming, flower bed makeovers, spring and fall cleanup. It was a very lucrative business, but like I said, it was too hard. I mean, everybody in Colorado wants rock. So I got left with a few jobs for doing 14 ton on my own. And I already got the money for the people. The person would come out for the first day and help set up. When it's time to lay the rock, they would be gone. I'll call them on the phone, nobody around. So I didn't want to do snow removal. So I tried to find something that served me purpose at the time. So I started, next slide, Veterans Touch woodworking for the wintertime. At first, it was just something to do with the snow to get away from it. Next slide. But I turned into a business. And then I eventually stopped doing landscaping because it was just too hard on my body. But woodworking kept me home, kept me grounded, and kept me with my family. Next slide. This is the business card, the QR code if you want to scan it. Next slide. And this is my setup now. This was Juneteenth this past summer with One Body ENT. Next slide. I've been on the news 4 times. You can go keep going. Next slide. Next slide. These are some of the pictures. I've been on Fox 21 4 times now. Every time I go, I give the host something. Next slide. And I got inspired to go on to Fort Carson, something I wanted to do as a soldier. I was going to the PX and see the guys doing vendors there. I was like, I want to do this when I get out. Next slide. So I ended up having a kiosk there. Next slide. I ended up having 4 kiosks at once. But management got really heavy on me, so I had to stop. I just had to leave. It was too stressful. Next slide. And in that time, I landed a contract with Warrior Games. Next slide. I got contracted to make 38 archery stands for Colorado College. Warrior Games is a program that gets disabled veterans out and they do sports. They do a whole lot of competitions. My role was the archery stands next. I did the discus platforms and the seated discus platforms. Next slide. These are some of the pictures of the athletes that did it. These are all veterans, disabled, and some matter that's not disabled. Next slide. This is the seated platform right here for the discus. People that can't move their legs, they get strapped in and they do the discus. Next slide. I'm a man of many hats, but the most hat that I wear the most is the retired Army. I might go back to landscaping later in my life with contracting, something smaller, but woodworking is my main purpose. It shows me the most joy. Other than that, next slide. Walking my dog, working out, and riding my back with my partner is my motivation right now. So thank you for listening to my story.